Well, welcome to the afternoon bit of the Keep On Moving Shropshire Festival. And thanks for sticking with us. I hope you all enjoyed your lunch. If you haven't had a chance to grab a bag, then please do after this. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Suzy O'Shea from Energise. I've lost my intro bits, here we go. Suzy is Head of Engagement at Energise, the active partnership for Shropshire, Telford and Wrekin. Energise works across the whole county with organisations and community groups to help them support local people to improve their quality of life through being active. Suzy's aim today is to get us all moving with some practical tips and useful hints on how to get us up and going. Thank you. Suzy O'Shea.
Thank you, Louisa. Thank you all for coming. It's never easy having the bit after lunch. I'm hoping that not everybody's had the sandwich, the chocolate bar, the fruit and everything, and a coffee and a cake, but thank you all for coming. So, the name of the festival today is Keep On Moving. So I thought we'd talk about keep on moving, but why? Exercise. Absolutely. So, I'm hoping and I'm expecting that you probably all recognise this lovely man because he was on our telly rather a lot, particularly all through 2020 and 2021. So, the lovely Professor Chris Whitty, and he said, I'll read it out in case it's not clear for everyone at the back, if physical activity were a drug, we would refer to it as the miracle cure due to the great many illnesses it can prevent and help treat. That's amazing, isn't it? A miracle cure. And do you know what I also loved? If we think back, and maybe we don't want to think back to the beginning of the pandemic, but if we think back to March 2020 and we were told to stay at home, and there was nothing really we were allowed to do, was there? But we were allowed, if you remember, we were allowed to go out and exercise. Once a day, we were allowed to do that. And that's because the Chief Medical Office know that being active, it's a miracle drug. And it can also help to save our lives. So being physically active, there are so many things we're going to talk about that. Why should we keep on moving today? Regular physical activity reduces your risk of dementia by up to 30%, hip fractures by up to 68%, breast cancer by up to 20%, type 2 diabetes by up to 40%. All of these benefits, all of these things reducing our risks by being physically active. So, we've got a few things we're going to do in our little short session today. I won't be keeping you too long, but hopefully by the time you leave me in a few minutes, you'll understand what I mean by being active, know those benefits of keeping moving, maybe have some ideas, some more ideas. Some of you already will live very active lives. You might be thinking about others that you know, or parents, or people that you might be caring for. Ideas for active lifestyles. So.
Less chocolate.
Less chocolate.
I've got that problem.
So, simple. Yeah? Simple? Yeah, just we know now. So that's the end of the session. We all know we need to be more active. Simple, yeah? If only. Have you ever known what you needed to do, but there were so many things getting in the way? Can anybody relate to that?
Oh, yes.
Yes? Yeah, good, thank you. And your head is well and truly in the sand. It's hard, isn't it? It's not always easy. We know we need to be active, but there can be barriers, can't there? And there's some words here. We can be tired. We can be worried. I don't want to go and have a go at that walking netball. They're all going to be far too fit and everything. And oh, I'm worried about it. I'm not really, Carolyn. You know, maybe we've got childcare issues. We're too busy. The job's taking up all of our time. There's lots of barriers, isn't there? Lots of reasons where maybe we think they're getting in the way. So, we're going to talk about 4 key messages today. Being active is one of the best things you can do for your health. There are lots of ways we can be active, something for everybody. Every minute counts, and we all have a part to play in helping others with this as well. So we think about ourselves, but we've all got a part to play in helping everybody else. So, being active, our first key message, one of the best things you can do for your health. So we talked a little bit earlier, didn't we, about if we are active, it can reduce our risk of things like type 2 diabetes, reduce risks of certain cancers, reduce risks of dementias. So they're big long-term health conditions that we know that being active can help with. But also on a daily basis, just moving about a bit more can help with keeping our spirits up, helps us get a good night's sleep, might help us stay independent, stay at a healthy weight. There's even a picture of a toilet there, helping with keeping our bowels regular. All important stuff. So it isn't just about that long-term picture. On a daily basis, just being able to be a bit more active can help with all of these little things as well. And there's some other benefits. One of my messages was about helping other people to be active. So it can also help us with the social aspect of it, can't we? It might be just arranging and having a walk with one friend, or meeting up with a friend or somebody else to do something, or it might be more group activities that we might get involved in. But that helps us with our physical, but also our mental health as well, of that social aspect of being active with other people. And it can also help, and I've personally been on this journey, something I started doing during lockdown in really giving an extra purpose in my life, as well as my one as a wife and a mum and my day job, but in helping to run or get involved in, just playing a role in a community group and helping others in that way. So it's really that I'm being active, but I'm helping others being active as well, and it's just having those mental health benefits as well as the physical side. So, being active, key message number 2. What does that mean for anybody? What do you think of when you think of being active? Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Lots and lots of walking.
Walking is a great one, isn't it? Walking is one of them. And it can mean lots of different things to lots of different people. But what I like is this. I love this graphic here. Can you see those graphics? Can you see that from the back, Natalie? A bit small, but just about. You're getting the gist. Thank you. That is a lady, I'm not sure if it's a lady or a man, but that doesn't matter, carrying the shopping. And it says there's 2 types of activity that we need to do. One, we talk about strength and balance, and the other one is about aerobic activity and getting our heart racing a bit faster. What I love about that is this picture of strength and balance activities. That is not somebody down the gym. That is not somebody lifting weights. This is somebody carrying their shopping, and carrying shopping, walking back from the shop, whatever, putting your shopping away. That's a good strength and balance activity. And that's one of the key messages from today, is being active doesn't need to be, I don't think I've used the word sport even at all yet today. Sport is fabulous, but it doesn't need to be about sport. That's one of the key things. Being active and having those benefits is about moving more. Back to our festival, keep on moving. So carrying the shopping, aerobic exercise, there's someone having a bit of a dance. And here's some other ideas about ways we are all active as well. Cleaning at the home, gardening, going up and down the stairs, all of these things are ways of being active. So it's kind of changing that kind of myth that some people might have, that it means, I've got to go and find and be sporty. That is brilliant if that's something that appeals to you. But it doesn't need to be about that. It is about us being active and keeping moving. Use it or lose it. This is my favourite one. And this might be new information for some people. Every minute counts. So you remember Professor Chris Whitty, my friend, I like to call him. I don't know if he talks about me and says I'm his friend, but lovely Chris Whitty. He talks about 150 minutes, ideally for adults, to be active on a weekly basis. But do you know what they also talk about from the Chief Medical Officer's guidelines is every minute counts. Yes, we might, if we can do more, that's brilliant. But any activity is better than no activity. And the best thing is, even people who are completely inactive at the moment, they have the most to gain. And I've got a little chart, which I'm going to explain because it's going to be a bit faint maybe at the back. But basically all it's explaining is the benefits going up the left-hand side rise very, very quickly. You've got minutes of time along the bottom. And basically all this is saying from the Chief Medical Officer's office is you get the most benefits when you start being active. So there's two things here. One is if you're completely inactive or you know somebody who's... none of you are completely inactive because you're all here and you've all been walking around the sports village and you've got yourselves here. But maybe you know people who are just doing every minute, 1 minute. What can they do? What can they start with and build up? That's one thing. And the other thing is people who are completely, uses the word sedentary there, start doing a little bit, they have the most to gain. So that is brilliant. So we don't need to, if we're trying to help people who are what we would call sedentary, inactive, we don't need to think about, well, you've got to find an hour to get down the gym. Absolutely not. What are the little things they can introduce into their life around the house, bit of gardening, walking, all of those things. And the last key message was about helping others. So I mentioned it a bit before, but I love this quote, and I'm hoping this is one we can read from the back of the room. There is no exercise better for the heart than reaching down and lifting other people up. And this really resonates for me about helping others. And one of the things that happens when we exercise, whether that's a brisk walk, a bit of dancing, some running, whatever it is our heart rate goes up. And we also get a lovely chemical in the brain, the endorphins. They start rushing around. I call them the happy dolphins, the endorphins. And I tell you what, I get lots of happy dolphins when I get out for a run, but I get even more happy dolphins when I take my Couch to 5K group out for a run in the quarry and I'm helping other people do it. And we all perhaps know somebody, and that might be something I'm going to ask you at the end, what you might take away from this session. And it might be just sharing one of these little messages with someone you know who's perhaps a bit inactive about just those few minutes and helping someone else. Now, I promised my friend Louise here at the front that there was going to be a quiz. So, I've shared a lot of information.
That's pointless. That's
The chase
the chase.
and tipping point.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, we're going to have a little quiz. It's very easy because it's a yes and no answer. So, it's not even multi-choice. It's the Keep On Moving Festival. So the thing about this quiz is you need to be active in order to take part in the quiz. So if you are comfortable and able to stand up, I would like you to stand up. But if you are not and you can sit down, you want to do it, you can do it sitting down because we can just use our arms. So if it's more appropriate and comfortable for you to stay sitting, that's fine. Look, everybody's standing up.
Excuse me, can I tell you something? Whenever you hear there's something, Bradley Welsh just clicked, giggles, he just collapses.
Well, hopefully that won't happen to me, but it might do.
He just goes.
Okay, so we've got the first question, and what we're going to do for all these questions, there's not too many, is if we think the answer is yes, we make like a Y, and if we think the answer's no, it's an N. Is that all right? Should we have a practice? So yes and no. Brilliant. Okay, so question 1. Do you have to undertake a sport to get the benefits of being physically active? That's it. No. Brilliant. You don't. So we talked about it, didn't we? We've talked about anything you're doing, it's about keeping on moving. Use it or lose it. Nothing wrong with sport. I love sport. But you don't have to do a sport. That's the thing. Housework is a brilliant workout. Absolutely. I don't know why my mother irons everything. She's 86, but she does. But she says to me, I was ironing. I'm like, well, that's great. You've got the ironing board out. You've got it out. Brilliant. Okay, question 2. Is there an age or a health condition which means people should not be active? God, it was very definite there, Di. Lots of no's. Absolutely. There is no age or health condition which means you cannot be active. It'll be different how they might be active. My mum's not here, she won't mind. She doesn't do the same activity as me, but she's very active. But there is no age, and this has come from the chief medical guidelines. This isn't just Suzy says. So this is facts. And so that's great news, isn't it? So it's just about finding what's right for everybody to keep on moving. Question 3. Can being physically active help to reduce stress levels? Oh, yay! Absolutely. It has a lovely calming effect. It helps improve your sleep. Do you remember I was talking about the endorphins, happy dolphins as I call them? All has a really calming effect on the brain, and that reduces your stress levels. So I certainly can relate to this. You can be all keyed up. Maybe you've got a big thing going on with work or something. Right, I'm just going to go out for a run. I haven't got much time. Just a short bit of a small jog around, and you feel a lot. It has that chemical effect. Okay. So I've got a list on here. I will read them out in case you can't read them all. But are all of these things, are they all benefits of being active? Improved sleep, increased bone density, weight control, decreased cholesterol, decreased blood pressure, reduced risk of diabetes, increased confidence, reduced risk of dementia, better mental health, decreased stress levels, reduced risk of heart disease, and a reduced risk of some cancers. Are they all benefits? Isn't that amazing? You're absolutely right. And well done, everybody. You're allowed to now have a seat. They are all benefits. Isn't that incredible, of just trying to have an active lifestyle? So, just something to share with you, though, and just something to think about, because I think probably now we're all thinking, yes, just going to be a bit more active. I'm going to think about that. I'm going to think about moving more, and I'm going to think about people who maybe I can help to move more. And I just wanted to share this little graphic. So there's a start point there, and it says dream at the end, and there's a green line. So I wanted to share a story with you. It's from last year. So I decided I was going to go on a fitness campaign. 3 months. Yeah, going to run 4 times a week. Make sure I do my strength and balance exercises as well. I'm going to build some swimming into that because that's good for me. Going to look at my diet as well, and I'm a bit of a cheese fiend. So no cheese. And you as well. You said chocolate earlier as well, but cheese as well. Yeah.
I'm going to change my diet.
So, yeah, I did it. 3 months. That green line. Start. There's the dream. Did it 3 months, absolutely. Didn't miss a day at all. Absolutely. No. That isn't what happened, because it's not life, is it? Life gets in the way, It went a bit like the blue line. Oh, actually, it was a bit like that orange line, a bit like, back to the beginning again, and no. Actually, this is the truth. This is the truth. I still got that dream, not there, but you know what? Because I know all of this stuff and I know the benefits, I have a go. And if I miss a day, or I don't feel so great one day, it doesn't matter, because life, whatever, it's different for all of us, isn't it? Things will get in the way, we have different barriers. And I haven't mentioned the COVID word, we've had all of that to deal with. We've got a lot to deal with. So, I just think it's really important that go away from today, hopefully thinking, going to think about each of us and being a bit more active, and think about who we can help to be more active. But, it's absolutely fine. Bad days are going to happen. Tomorrow will come, and we might feel like doing something then. And I think it's really important to remember this for ourselves and everybody, and be kind to ourselves. So I said I had a question, because we've shared a lot of information in a very short space of time. But I'm just wondering, I'm not going to come round all your homes and ask you, so don't worry. But I'm just wondering, does anybody, Smiley face, it's nice, isn't it? What would you, if I was coming round your house, say a month today, what might you like to be saying to me? Would it be that you might have tried something, you might have helped someone else, you might have thought about something like that? Just something to think about. Everybody might have their own sort of little... That's it. do the housework, because she's coming round, and also then I can tell her I've done the housework to keep moving. Brilliant, I love that.
I've got one that I've tried to do. There's a little four of us trying to do a run once a week, but it's been tapering off over the last few weeks. I actually am now determined to message them and say, come on, let's do this again.
And with each other, and you're supporting each other. I love that. Yeah, thank you, Di. Okay, so let's recap on the 4 messages that I shared, and I was hoping that you'd take away with you from today. Being active is one of the best things. Remember our friend Sir Chris? He said it's a miracle cure. There are lots of ways to be active. It literally is about moving, and that is going to be different for everyone. But if we're moving, I even was telling Colin earlier, who sat behind, Colin and Rob are sat over there helping behind the desk. Colin's job requires him to be sitting down during the day, doing what he's doing, so that this all works for me. But, I even said to him, when you're sitting, you can do something called calf raises like this. The calf is known as the second heart muscle, and that is going to get your blood pumping a bit round your body. So if you're sitting, Coronation Street's on, you're sitting there, you can get that, or the kettle's boiling. So lots of ways to be active. My favourite one, every minute counts. We don't have to say, oh, but I haven't got an hour. Di with her running friends, I haven't got time, Di. Why don't we go out for 20 minutes, she's going to say. Doesn't matter. We don't have to find big swathes of time. And we all can help each other and find somebody else to help with this. So, thank you very much for listening to me. I hope you enjoyed it, and keep on moving, Shropshire. You're very welcome.
Thank you to Suzy. That's certainly got me moving. My calves are going to be going like the clappers.